Today, we're going to continue our story, Detective LaRue, Letters from the Investigation by Mark Teague, Part 2. We are going to continue with our new genre, the mystery genre. Mystery genre is a genre of fiction where a detective, amateur, or professional solves a crime or series of crimes. A mystery is something that is secret or unknown. A detective is a person who investigates mysteries and gathers information. A clue is a fact or object that helps solve mysteries. Evidence, something that helps prove who committed the crime. Suspect, a person who is believed to have possibly committed the crime. Victim, someone who is harmed or suffers some loss because of the crime. Witness, someone who saw the crime being committed and can provide some information. Today, we're going to continue to compare and contrast characters' mental state and traits. What does it mean to compare? Yes, compare means to tell what is the same. What does it mean to contrast? Yes, that is different. Remember, characters' mental state is what the characters are thinking inside their head. Character traits are what the characters like. We already know that is our job as good readers to get to know the characters, what they're thinking and what they're like. Good readers compare and contrast characters' mental state and traits to better understand the story. Let's review a little bit yesterday. What is Ike's problem? Ike's problem is he wants to go home, but he can't because everyone thinks he stole Mrs. Hibner's cats. What is his mental state? His mental state is, I did not steal the cats. I'm in jail and it's awful. I'm being treated horribly for no reason. What is Miss LaRue's mental state? Her mental state is, my dog did something to the cats. The police are holding on to Ike till I come back. Ike is safe with the police and he is being treated fairly. So, here is the skill. The skill is compare and contrast character traits and mental states. What is it? Compare means to tell what is the same between two or more things. Contrast means to tell what's different between two or more things. How do we do character traits? Look for clues about what the character says and does. Ask, what does that tell me about what the character is like? Determine whether that is a positive, negative, or neutral trait. Compare how the two character traits are the same. Contrast how the character traits are different. How do we decide mental state? Pay attention to what the character's actions, dialogues, and feelings are. Ask, what might the characters be thinking? Compare how the two characters' mental states are the same. Contrast how the two characters' mental states are different. Why do we do it? Good readers compare and contrast traits and mental state to better understand the characters in the story. So let's continue with our story. October 4th. Dear Mrs. LaRue, I can't begin to tell you how dire of a situation has become. Mrs. Hibbins insists that I'm responsible for losing her cats. Plus, she's managed to convince everyone that they're rare and valuable. Nobody stops to consider how unlikely that is. But nothing's being done to find them. Apparently, it is easier for some people to blame a dog than to solve a crime. In fact, the police came to be working on another case entirely. It looks like they'll have to take matters into my own paws and solve this mystery myself. Your intrepid dog, Ike. P.S. Besides, it's become shockingly apparent you do not intend to come to get me. Okay, let's keep reading, see what happens next. October 5th. This looks like a newspaper article. It says, LaRue flees custody, cat still missing. Just days after being captured, local dog Ike LaRue apparently escaped from police headquarters yesterday. He just sort of walked out, admitted Louis Sparky Woldroff. LaRue is considered a suspect in the early disappearance of two cats belonging to Leona Hibbs of 2nd Avenue. Waldroff acknowledges the investigation into the case has stalled. We've all been distracted by the canary burglars. Until we can establish who's been stealing those birds, I'm afraid we won't be able to focus on the Hibbins cats. For more on the canary burglars, see page A1. As for LaRue, Waldroff speculated the dog will return as soon as he gets hungry. It seems like the police do not care that Ike is missing because they think he'll come back when he gets hungry. Instead, they're trying to solve a new case about a canary burglar. A canary is a type of bird. In the text, it said the birds keep going missing and the police can't figure out why. I wonder who would steal birds. October 6th. Dear Mrs. LaRue, yes, I have escaped. Furthermore, my search for the Hibbins cats has taken me into an awful part of town. Here, cats roam the streets freely, day and night, howling, knocking over trash cans, and clawing people's ankles as they walk by. It's a terrible place, Mrs. LaRue, but by handing out a few cat treats, I've been able to turn up some more interesting facts. For instance, did you know that cats regularly capture and eat small animals? I had no idea. I will tell you more on the case just as it unfolds. Sincerely, Ike. P.S. Imagine this danger and hardship. So what is Ike doing and why? Ike is trying to find the missing cat so everyone will know he never took them. He's looking all around town, investigating different cats. He is writing to Mrs. LaRue about what he's learning about cats during the investigation. October 7th. Dear Mrs. LaRue, today my investigation led me to a pigeon named Rocco, who told me that half his family was lost in the attacks by, you guessed it, cats. It seems like that even our lovely feathered friends are not safe from these little monsters. It's clear to me that I must find Mrs. Hibbins' cats quickly for the good of the city. Yours truly, Ike. October 8th. Dear Mrs. LaRue, I followed a tip here up in the Trundlebrook Cattery. I wanted to find out if valuable cats behave any better than the little brutes I've been seeing downtown. Clearly they do not. In fact, I was told that the only way to keep small animals safe is to keep cats inside. Sincerely, Ike. What does this tell you about Ike? I'm thinking about his mental state. In his letters to Mrs. LaRue, he said he's looking for missing cats, and that seems to be true from what we can tell from the picture. However, Ike's mental state is, wow, this journey is so hard. I'm going to all these awful places to find his cats. This is different from what the pictures show. Remember, the colored picture, him with the cat book, is what he's really doing, and the black and white picture on the other side is what he is saying. So this is different because he's really staying in a nice hotel, ordering room service while he reads about the cats. This is more evidence, is dramatic because he's making everything seem way worse than it really is. October 9th. Dear Mrs. LaRue, the news today is all about the latest canary burglary. Only this time the criminals made off with 2 parrots and a gerbil as well. Have you noticed that this terrible crime wave began just after the Hibbins cats disappeared? It isn't a pleasant thought, but of course a dog must follow his instincts. Yours, Ike. October 10th. Dear Mrs. LaRue, welcome home. I wish I could be there to greet you properly, but as you know, I am on the lam. That means he's running because he escaped jail. Until I can solve the case, I must remain in hiding. It is a situation with intrigue and danger. As I close in on the culprits, the police remain intent on catching me. Unfortunately, they have no idea who the real criminals are. As long as they continue to regard the cats as innocent victims, they'll be barking up the wrong tree. Perhaps I can think of some ways to tip them off. Your sleuth, Ike. October 11th. Dear Mrs. LaRue, just this morning I discovered the very first canary burglary was here, the night of my arrest. Apparently, the sneaky villains climbed the fire escape at the small pet emporium and made off with 6 plump birds. To think that I was unwitting pawn in their wicked scheme. But I've heard the criminals always return to the scene of the crime, and if that's true, I have a feeling the Hibbins cats will be here shortly. I just called the police. Wait, I think I see them up on the fire escape. I gotta go. So this is another newspaper clipping. October 12th, cats rescue. LaRue saves the day. Responding to an anonymous tip, Snort City Police rushed last night to a small pet emporium where they were able to assist hero dog Ike LaRue in his rescue of 2 lost cats. The cats, beloved pets of local resident Leona Hibbins, have been missing for 12 days. Though clearly traumatized by their ordeal, they appeared healthy and very well fed. LaRue apparently found the cats clinging to a fire escape and was able to hold them until police arrived. To tell the truth, we had considered the dog a suspect, especially after he escaped. That means they thought that he had the cats. We see now that he was simply determined to save his little friends. He was searching for the cats all week, confirmed the dog's owner, Gertrude LaRue, who recently returned from France. I'm proud of my Ike. Even Miss Hibbins, who had been critical of LaRue's prior to the rescue, was full of praise. I completely misjudged him, she admits. I never knew he cared so much about my cats. What happened? Ike found the missing cats, and he solved the mystery and proved he was innocent. After all, Ike's mental state is that he solved the mystery. He knew all along. He was proud of himself. This is similar to Mrs. LaRue's mental state when she's thinking, I'm proud of my dog for solving this mystery. He really didn't hurt the cats after all. And if you're paying attention, the cats are the ones that were stealing all of those birds. Now, both Mrs. LaRue and Ike agreed he didn't do anything wrong. He was innocent. October 12th, Police Headquarters. Dear Mrs. LaRue, unfortunately, you can't believe everything you read in the newspapers. Though they portrayed my own heroism nicely, I'm afraid the police completely misjudged the situation. Instead of making an arrest, they made a rescue. Oh well, somehow humans are never able to see the truth about cats. For me, that's a real mystery. Anyway, the police are a swell bunch. I have no more hard feelings about what happened. See you soon, Ike. So, he says here that they should have arrested the cats. Ike said this because it was the cats who were eating all the canaries the whole time. However, Ike is the only person who figured it out. October 20th. This is another newspaper clipping. LaRue named honorary detective. Dog praise and police ceremony. In a ceremony at City Hall yesterday, local dog Ike LaRue was presented with the detective badge and was cheering wildly for his role in rescuing 2 cats earlier this month. What he did was first-rate police work, said Detective Marvis Bickle. I'm sure he'll be a credit to the force. Their ceremony was made possible to almost complete absence of crime over the last few days. Even the canary burglaries seem to have ended, said Bickle. We have a lot of free time on our hands. See story, page A2. Mayor Mitzi Schlepper agreed. Nothing else is happening, she said. It seemed like a good time for a ceremony. When asked about what duties Ike LaRue might be expected to perform, Detective Bickle smiled. If he keeps an eye on those wonderful cats, she said, that'll be enough for us. Underneath the picture it says, grateful cats embrace their hero.